Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to talk about how I declutter my kids' toys and some tips on how to minimize what you have for your kids and how to encourage your kids to declutter as well. If you're new to my channel, my name's Mel. I do weekly videos and I'm trying to become a minimalist, even though I live with 3 non-minimalists, and I do a lot of cleaning, decluttering and organizing videos on my channel. So if you're interested in that kind of content, I'd love to have you hit the red subscribe button below and join my YouTube fam. So my first tip would be to have a sort of a one in, one out rule. I know this is quite a popular way of keeping clutter at bay for a lot of minimalists, and so it doesn't just need to apply to toys. I think it helps to say to them, you know, you can have that, but you need to clear out or sell or donate 1 or 2 other things that you already have, because we don't have enough space to keep everything that you're wanting to keep. The one in, one out rule has worked quite well with my son, and I'll say to him if he wants something new and I'm happy for him to buy it, I'll say, okay, but you need to get rid of something else that you don't play with anymore or that you don't use anymore. So generally be 1 for 1. Or if he wants something that's a bit bigger, I might say you need to clear out 2 things, and that might be sell or donate them. And my son is usually pretty happy to get rid of something when he knows he's getting something else. So that can actually be a good time to declutter when they want something new. And you could even say, you know, because that thing's quite expensive or that thing's quite big, then we need to clear out 2 or 3 things. You can do the one in, one out rule, or you can slightly extend it if you need to, which is what I do sometimes. My other tip would be to get your kids involved. So one example is my son has recently stepped up his reading because he's been at school this year, and he has started to read books that aren't just strictly picture books and read books with a lot of words, and he's rather enjoying them as well. So I decided that we needed to declutter the little shelf in his room. He's got quite a few books, and most of them are picture books, and a couple are, you know, longer fiction books that I read to him a chapter at night, that kind of thing. But I said to him, well, you know, if you want to get some more books, I think it's time we went through and cleared out some of the books that are, you know, a bit more babyish, and your sister could have some and we could donate or sell some. So he was quite happy to go through that with me. Out of this 4 little shelves of this bookcase, all this came out of it, and this is only half of it. So this is what is going to Toots. All these ones Bud wants to keep. So, good job. My other tip is that when you do declutter things, either with your kids or without your kids, get the stuff out of your house ASAP, as soon as you can. If not straight away, then hide it where they won't find it, because I've made that mistake before of leaving out in our hallway a box of stuff that I haven't had time to take to the op shop, and my son will go and rummage through it and say, hey, why are you getting rid of this? And usually it's something that he hasn't played with in months and months and months, but if he suddenly sees it in the outbox, he'll want it again. So I will usually hide that kind of stuff or put it in my car and take it to the op shop straight away. And don't keep it in your car boot if your child is regularly going into the car boot like mine does to get his bag out when we go to and from school. So I can't hide it in the boot of my car either. The other tip is take batteries out of musical toys, because one time I put something out to sell, and when the lady came and picked it up, she accidentally pressed a button and the music went off, and my son was like, why is that lady coming to get that? And again, it was something he hadn't played with and it was a little bit babyish for him, but yeah, I forgot to take the batteries out, and it wasn't one of those things you could just turn off. If the button was accidentally pressed, then yeah, so take the batteries out. My other tip is to help your kids sell their old toys and things if they're worth selling and they're in good quality, so that they can add it to their savings. And I found this has really helped my son learn the value of money. So he will know if he sells something, then he might have to sell 2 or 3 or 4 things to get enough money to buy something new. So it helps him know that, you know, it is a second-hand good, and it also helps him place values on things. So sometimes he'll come up to me with like I don't know, a toy train, little toy train, and say to me, I want to sell this for $10. I'm like, there's no way you'll get $10 for it. You'll get $1 or $2 for it if you're lucky. But I said to him, you know, if we sell more, if we sell them in a bundle, then you might be able to get like, you know, $10 or $20 for a bundle. What I most like about this method is that it helps to teach my son the value of money as well, because he knows he has to sell 2 or 3 or 4 things to get that shiny new thing from the toy store. So my next few tips are about trying to keep the clutter out of your home to start with. So try and stay away from the shop. When I tend to go to like a Big W or Target because I need clothes for the kids, I will try and go without them. I'll try and go at a time where I know I've just got some time to myself, or because my daughter's only 2, I'll just keep her strapped in the pram so she can't just run around the toy section and grab stuff off the shelves. I basically try and keep them away from the temptation as much as possible. I've also tried to be a bit more mindful with my purchases. So for example, if we happen to take the kids to McDonald's, which we do every once in a while, I have stopped buying Happy Meals. It's been a bit harder to get my husband to stop buying Happy Meals because he kind of forgets. But I don't like buying Happy Meals because they come with the little plastic toys that they play with for only a little while, and generally, or my son anyway, gets bored of them. I find that helps keeping all the cheap plastic stuff out of my home. I also try not to visit the dollar type stores, or if I do, I try not to buy my kids' toys from there because generally they're lesser quality, cheap plastic things that can't be recycled because usually they're a combination of like plastic and metal because they've got screws in them and those sorts of things. So I'm trying to be better about living more sustainably as well and not buying little stuff like that. But it's also because that kind of stuff doesn't really have the longevity. Generally those things don't hold the kids' attention for very long, and they're low quality, so they don't last very long either. My other tip is to go to the library and also go to the op shops to shop for things if you must buy things, because, well, it's a lot cheaper, and then you're also, I guess, using things that are pre-loved and not going out and buying new stuff all the time. And usually when we go to op shops, which is not that often, I have to admit, because I'm usually the one taking the toys to the op shop rather than buying stuff, I will encourage my son to look at books, because books are very expensive brand new, and you can find some great bargains and some great books in op shops. And then the other thing we love to go and do is go to the library. And then my last tip is to buy your child something that you can do with them. So it's an activity rather than a thing, a tangible product that's, you know, going to clutter up your house later. So I will do things like say to him, well, let's go bake cupcakes. So we'll go to the shop and he gets to pick out what cupcake mix he wants from the supermarket. That sort of thing. It's still buying something for your kids, but then you can go and do that activity with your kids, and it's not something that's going to clutter up your house afterwards because you're going to eat the cupcakes. That in a way is still shopping, but it's, you know, shopping where it's not going to clutter up your home. Okay guys, so those are my tips for trying to be minimalist with kids. I hope you enjoyed this video. Give it a thumbs up if you did like it. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye.
Keep pile, sister pile, and sale pile. Definitely keep the Bible because it's very special.
Okay.